Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Bobby's Business Club, the chat show. We have Joanne Brooks from Navig8Biz on our chat show today, and she's going to be telling us all about how to know when to grow your business. And what a timely kind of conversation to have, especially with the world of how it is, and who knows what's going to happen in the next few months, few years. But we all want to be guided by experts, and Joanne is definitely one of those people. Joanne, the floor is yours. Take it away whenever you're ready. I can't wait to hear about this and get that ship off that picture.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's watching or listening to the recording. So I appreciate you turning up. So yes, let's put some context around this picture. There is an absolute reason for this. This is a visual representation of what I did a number of years ago, in that I was considered the little orange speedboat, and the companies that I was collaborating with were a bit like the Queen Mary. And so, yeah, I was that little tinny there. And the reason this collaboration worked and enabled me to scale and grow my business to an enormous level was that, if you think about it, a little orange speedboat has capacity to move and duck and weave and all those sort of things. So I was able to go to market quickly, pivot, change, all those sort of things, whereas the organizations I was collaborating with were large international companies. And so they're a bit like the Queen Mary in that they take a much longer to stop, much longer to pivot and change and move. So I actually saw great value in enabling me to have a partnership agreement with them. And I was able to leverage off what they had in place as well as what I had in place. So this was just a visual representation of that, because it's all about, and I did a live yesterday, the mother of all strategies in growth is collaboration. In my mind, it's just one of the critical strategies. I'm going to go and start talking about a few other things, and let's get this picture off the screen so Bobby's okay, feeling much happier. I often like to start my webinars, tutorials with a bit of a thought-provoking sentence. If the accelerator of your business is growth, then businesses are like motor vehicles. They take us on a journey to a destination and the opportunity for creation of wealth, lifestyle, and impact. So for those of you who are in business, I come across many business owners who are a little bit nervous about talking about wealth creation and profitability, because it's the numbers thing, and it's something that they feel they shouldn't be talking about so confidently. Well, I want to knock that out of the park, because we are in business to create profit, and I genuinely feel that businesses are our core product opportunity to create wealth, and that wealth enables us, as it says here, to create a particular lifestyle and the impact that you have. So I am not a business owner who's only here for money. That is the consequence of having a great, successful business. So let's go and explore what I mean by that. For those of you who don't know me, so there's a quick slide, but Bobby's done a quick little intro. So been in business over 20 years, had more than 15 companies, recently started a new one at the age of 60. I'm an author, co-author of a book here, work with industry partners, do a lot of motivational speaking. I've got one tonight, which is amazing, of women in business over 50 years old. The women, not the businesses, mentoring and coaching. So do a lot of that sort of stuff. I love talking about business. So there's just a little bit of a credibility piece. So who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to business owners who feel their businesses are stagnating or even declining, whose lives are chaotic, and the business sucks all their attention. We know a lot of people who are in that space who are looking for strategies to grow and scale, but they're also looking to be heard, guided, and supported in their business journey. So I'm going to share with you some of my key points that I think are really critical to create the foundations for scaling and growth in your business. Because I know transformation works like this. When you know the steps, you can make really good decisions about growth. You can build the team, the processes, surround yourself with people who can support and guide you. When you do this, this happens. You have the right mindset, it's got clarity in your head, and you can create clear pathways to audacious growth levels, which will enable you to take back control and grow your business. So, I'm all about transforming the business owner, and it's working on them first. And that's why there's mindset sitting here, because we want to turn you into for want of a better word, a beautiful butterfly, something not looking so pretty at the beginning of its life and flourish and grow, but to continue on, not just last the day. So it's really important that you get a sense that what I'm talking about is a transformation in you and your business. And I know why this works, because what you've been doing today doesn't work. Clearly, there's a lot of businesses that it's just not working for them. But I want people to tap back into why they started their business. And if, when people say to me, I started my business to replace my income that I was under a salary, or I want to earn so much money, I will always say to them, you need to go deeper, because when you just connect your business to generation of profit, it's not deep enough. It's not strong enough. And I've been there, and it got to the point where when I was getting up each morning, it was a highly profitable business. It was going really well, but I had these butterflies going on in my stomach and I really didn't want to go to work. Like, there was no connection to why I was doing what I was doing. And, I'm really clear today about the legacy I want to leave, the lifestyle I want, the things that I want to do to give back, give my time, philanthropic, scholarships to things. And none of that will happen if you don't grow your business. That's the best vehicle that you have to enable to leave an impact, to have a legacy. So that's why I know this works, because it's all about connecting to values and purpose. So let's have a quick look at some statistics. We've all heard them, and I went and got some new ones this morning. Now, I actually saw a range of 60% to 97% of failure rate of small business. I don't care what the number is. It's just too high, way too high. And invariably, those businesses have less than a turnover of $200,000 and have 0 to 1 staff, really small. And a big part of what Navig8 do is we want to get small businesses to stop using the word small, drop it off their language, but also to build it so that it has a $2 million turnover with at least 5 staff. Because here's some rather scary stats. And we've all heard the stories of there's been an influx of new businesses coming in as a result of COVID, 365,000 in Australia. This is from the Australian Bureau of Statistics that I got from them this morning. But of the, within that, not of 365, but 277,000 businesses closed, and we know a lot of them were impacted by COVID. And that's a net 88,000 new owners in Australia just in 1 year. Now, that is a lot. And if we can't help those businesses succeed, think about the ripple effect that creates when they don't succeed, when they fail, and the impact it has on them, their family, their clients, their customers, their suppliers, their network. It has a massive, massive impact. So we need to do whatever we can. That's what I feel in Navig8, and I know it's the same for Bobby's Business Club and the people who are listening. We are all on the same path. We want to make sure that businesses succeed. So it doesn't matter what the numbers are, they're just not good enough, and we need to improve them, because less than 40% businesses make a profit. Now, that's scary. You're in business to create wealth, to create profit, to enable you to do other things for your family, for your customers. Because you think about even a small cafe, they have this ripple effect that they impose on their community. They're employing people, they're paying mortgages for various people, they're giving wonderful coffee and a lifestyle for the people, their customers. And so when they're there, they can spend. There's more traffic coming into the shopping centre, so they allow other shops to enjoy that traffic. It has this massive impact. And if only less than 40% are making a profit, there's a massive problem here. So a lot of this is going to be about mindset. Let's go and have a look. This is the Navig8 success model. So I have deliberately put dentistry tools on that image because it's not easy and it's not comfortable, right? Going to the dentist does somewhat freak me out. I'm not a fan of the dentist. But let me walk you through this, because a lot of business owners come in at different areas. They might have a great idea. They've got a concept for a business that they know is viable and it's wonderful and it's awesome. And they maybe have a great belief in themselves. Maybe the execution's not so great. Maybe, as I have often been heard to say, a great barista does not make a great cafe owner. You need to know what it is to run a business, how to execute it, all the layers and foundations of business. You might have limited belief, great execution, a pretty good idea. You're still going to have some challenges here. What we want to help our business owners understand is great idea, believe in the product, believe in the value and the impact that you make, even if you make coffee, even if you're an accountant, a builder. It doesn't matter what business you have. You've got a great idea. You believe deep within your heart because it's connected to your values, your purpose, your mission, the reason you exist. You deeply connect to that, and you know the feeling you give to your customer when they experience your service or product. And you also know the feeling when they don't experience it. And you have great execution processes. That's systems and processes and automation and team and people. That thing in the middle happens, success. So that's our model in Navig8 that we work with our customers around these three areas. I thought it would be it's really important for everybody to get a real clarity. Oh yeah, I've got a great idea. Yeah, my processes are not so great. How many business owners do I hear? Do you have systems in place that, when you employ someone, you can just go, here's how we do what we do in our business. Do you have those? Yeah, no, that's too hard. Well, no, it's not hard, and we walk you through how to do that. There's lots of simple ways to create processes. There's so much technology to help us today. It's crazy. There's actually no excuse not to be able to execute well, because it's a balancing act, right? So a lot of us are sometimes we're sitting in fear, sometimes we're sitting in excitement. And the fear piece could be, oh, that accountant keeps ringing me. I'm a little bit nervous of taking that phone call. The customer's ringing me. I'm a little bit nervous of that unhappy staff member or that customer, because you know what? Many, many businesses are one issue with a staff member, one issue with a supplier, one issue with a customer away from failure. And that's just a matter of fact. And this is not about creating fear for you. It's just recognizing where are the things that give you the butterflies. You know what, when the accountant rings you, maybe they've got some great news. Maybe they're ringing to say there's a fabulous opportunity for you to take advantage of. So, here in Australia, we have some amazing opportunities. Like the tax department want us to succeed. They want us to be able to pay our taxes. So there's this instant write-off thing that's going on in Australia today that was extended another 12 months. So anything you buy up to $150,000 in most businesses is an instant write-off on your tax return, which reduces your tax. Maybe they were ringing you about that and you didn't know about it. Or maybe they're just saying, let's get this thing done so we don't have an issue next year. Like, eat the vegetables first, get them done. But what are the things that get you excited about your business, right? What are the things, and this is where we hang out in Navig8Biz. Like, we've got some processes to help businesses understand the size of the opportunity. Like, I would say, I'm going to put it out there, every business today is now a global business. I fundamentally believe that. As a result of COVID, that is an amazing positive thing that's popped out of COVID, is that my network suddenly exploded across the globe. And I know, Bobby was saying this morning, was talking about, and I know, Peter, you're in another country and you provide services to people all around the world. So that is amazing, and that is enormous and fantastic for all businesses. A really quick story on that one. I'm not sure those of you might have heard this story before. During the middle of COVID, a small cafe got closed down because of the lockdown here in Brisbane. It published its chocolate brownies online to sell globally, and a famous movie star in LA bought them and put them on Instagram and TikTok. They were suddenly a global sensation of brownies. And that was a little cafe in Brisbane. That's real. That's a real story. So, if you're thinking, well, but I'm a cafe, how can I be global? Well, you jolly well can. Share your recipes, post your product. It doesn't matter what your customers are suddenly in more places than you even thought of. So I want people to start getting out of the fear, and it's the language you use, right? When I hear business owners say, I hope, I try, maybe, I hope, all those words, I'll be pretty brutal and say, stop saying those words. Because when you say, I'm going to try, guess what you're going to get? It's going to be trying. It's going to be really hard. So I will, I can, I have, I do. All those things are the words and the language you have to use. So, because what you say and what you say and what you speak inside your voice and outside is what you get. Massive believer in that. So we want to flip everybody to be really excited about their business, because fear hasn't even happened yet, right? What you're worried about hasn't even happened. Now, we've all heard what that fear, you can make up a sentence, that the acronym of fear, and it's fear, I don't know, fear of appearing real, but it's not really, it just hasn't happened yet. So let's get into excitement and be really excited about the opportunity for a business. So when do you grow? Now, absolutely now. If you weren't already in a state of growth at the beginning of COVID and you haven't done that yet, you are behind the 8 ball. You need to get going now. Like I know for us at Navig8, when shutdowns happen, all sorts of stuff, we actually spent more money on marketing. We actually did more things. We escalated what we were doing in Navig8. And I know in the year of 2021, we impacted over 2,000 businesses. We conducted 350 webinars during that year period, and we had so many new people coming in because they were absorbing and looking for new information. And that was something that was easy for us to do. And so you need to start, if you haven't even thought about a growth strategy now, let's go and have a look at a few tips that you can do to talk about growth. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what's your commitment to your business? Because business is hard, right? It's like that post. They're hard. Those locks are locked and they're not going to come undone. Business is hard, but it shouldn't be so hard that it's overwhelming. You should belong to networks like this, Bobby's Business Club. You should connect with business owners that have the same ethos. You should surround yourself with the right people, and your commitment is what's required to get that done. So if you're not prepared to work the long hours, if you're not prepared to give your business the time and attention that it needs, if you're not prepared to work on your business as much as in it, well, then you've got to go back and go, well, why did I start this business? What's my purpose? What's the legacy I'm intending to create? And what's the impact I want to make? That will then get that fire in the belly going. So what will it take? This is actual photo of my desk and filling in a planner. Oh, I can't see it because of the funny virtual screen. This is the actual planner, because it actually takes focus, commitment, discipline. So that planner there, you can see it's got a diary on the left-hand side. So it's a 100-page planner. I would write down what is happening today, what I know appointments are coming. My goals, I always write them as though they've already happened. Always. I never write goals, try to make 10 phone calls and hopefully secure 2 appointments. No, they're written and they're big goals. We are the #1 business coaching platform in the world. We do impact 1 million businesses daily. Those are the things, it's all brain stuff. It's about thinking positively, working positively, because the brain then expects this to happen, right? And that just builds the fire in the belly. So whatever you do, you need to recalibrate to what is your commitment, what's your focus and your discipline. So how do you do these things each day? What do you set yourself up for success for each day? What does it look like? Mine's changed a bit now. Weirdly, I don't actually use my own planner. There are lots of people who love a paper planner. I decided that whilst that worked for me for a period of time, now what I do is I get up early at sunrise, I go for a walk with the dogs, and I am visualizing what my day is going to look like. I am visualizing my mission. I am visualizing what my big goals are. I come home and I go and meditate, and the meditation always ends with gratitude, and it always ends with me visualizing the big goals that I want to achieve, always. And that is what works. That's what I've worked out. I've refined what works for me. So everybody will have a different way of doing this. As I said, some of you will love a paper planner. Some of you will want an electronic one. I use electronic calendars. That works for me. But the visualization piece, the big goals things, every day, I tap into those to visualize them. And that's what works for me. So you need to work out, you need to flip it from a habit to a ritual. And I'll tell you what the difference is. A habit is something you do on remote control without any thought. A ritual is something that you do with meaning, with purpose, that's connected to your values. That is the next level of commitment that it takes for a business owner to make it a ritual, something that actually means something to you, not this blindly answering emails, checking stuff on habit. That's not connected to your purpose at all. So purpose is loading. So you need to be connected to it for your purpose and your why. And purpose and why are 2 different things. So why you do what you do is the impact that you want to make. Purpose is how you're going to do it, right? So for those of you who've not maybe defined it very well, maybe, when I say to business owners, what's your goal? What's the reason that you do this? Oh, well, I want to just sell 20 widgets by month, whatever. And I'll always say, how about we go back a bit? Go back to when you think about your customer, do you know what they look like? Do you know what they're feeling? Do you know what their pain points? We all hear about, the importance of understanding who your customer is. I want you to get to the point that if you look in a crowd of people and you can see a bunch of people, you go, that's my customer and that's my customer, because you know what they look like, you know what they're feeling, you know how they walk, you know how they talk. Those things are connected to why you do what you do, because then you know precisely their pain point and what impact you're going to have on your customer. And that impact is the feeling. I remember years ago, I was teaching a bunch of finance brokers on how to write home loans. And the first question I asked them was, what do you sell? Immediately came up with loans, home loans, the normal stuff. This was 20 years ago. We didn't talk about purpose too much. I said, no, you don't. What do you sell? And finally someone go, well, the dream of owning our own home. I said, it's actually more than that. It is the feeling that those parents will have on their children by giving them the lifestyle that they aspire them to have, that they can take them send them to the nice school, that their wife can be really proud of the home that they own. It's the feeling that you evoke in your customers, and that's got to be connected to your why and your purpose. So if you're not clear about that, you need to go back to that foundational piece for your business. Create goals that take your breath away. So I said a few moments ago, I was talking to a customer and I said, what's your goals? And they said, well, 20 widgets by December. And I went, wow, December's going to go like that. And then what are you going to do? I said, for us at Navig8, we want you to think about the next 10 to 20 years of goals. What are they? Are they big? I remember one of our customers, last year, we were talking to her about her goals. Her goal was really, really powerful. She wanted, hers was going to be a charity business, and she wanted to create, she wanted to buy back the land that had been denigrated through logging and development. And she wanted to then, regenerate this land. And her goals were to buy a few in Australia. And I said, what would it look like if it was global? How many thousands of kilometres of land could you potentially have as your goal for over the next 20 years? And she said, oh, I don't know how to do that. When you're creating goals, don't get caught on the how. There's no how involved in goal setting. Goal setting is about creating a goal that takes your breath away. Like my goal, as I said to you, is impacting 1 million businesses a day. That's a lot of businesses. And I go, whew, that's a bit scary. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that, but that's okay. When you've got the goals and some people say to me, but I can't do that in a year. That's not the intent. This goal setting piece, too many people just set a goal for a year through to July. And then on the 30th of June, they go, oh, crap, I've got to recreate some goals. Well, we'll just up it by 10% and go again. Well, that's not exciting. So we have tools in our, to Navig8, we provide our customers that get you to really think about, how many offices are you going to have around the world? How many customers are you going to impact? What's the giveaway you're going to do? What's the lifestyle you're going to have? All these things, and goals are not just business. Goals are what you want to be able to do personally. And they have to take your breath away. And they might create a little bit of fear, a little bit of, not really sure how I'm going to do that. That's okay. Create goals that take your breath away. Write them down every day as though they've already happened. And then we will work with you to work, and you work backwards. So say it's a 20-year goal. What are you going to do by year 19, 15, 12, 10 years, by 9, 5, 10, 1 year, 1 quarter, 1 month? What do you got to do every day to chip away at that? And that's what we talk about in big, hairy, audacious goals. And you know what this fella's doing? Tell everybody. Tell everybody. You should have a 1-page business plan that has your vision on it, your goal, where you're going, and share it with everyone. Share it with your financier, your customers, your staff, your suppliers, because you know what? Some of them are going to go, oh, not really sure how you're going to do that. But a lot of them are going to go, wow, I'm inspired. I know when we create our 1-page business plan for the Navig8 team, and I showed them what it was going to look like in 10 years' time, that created excitement. That created buy-in to this business to support us and to continue along. So goals that take your breath away are critical to business growth strategies. Get the structure right. And this I'm talking about, I'm going to rephrase it into an Australian speak, but I'm assuming it's the same elsewhere. Too many business owners start a business as a sole trader structure. Now, I'm going to put a caveat in here. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm talking from years of experience. When I hear a business owner has started their little business as a sole trader, and I say to them, do you own a home? Yep. Do you have a mortgage? Yes. What name is that in? Well, mine and my husband's. What name is your business in? Well, mine. Well, you've just created a problem. This is worst case scenario. If you've got a legal issue in your business and something goes completely pear-shaped with it, guess what's going to happen? Your house will be at risk. And that's the last thing I want for people to do. Business is serious stuff, right? So treat the structure under which you operate as serious. For me, I'll just share what I do. I have a company, I have a trust. And the reason I have a company, it does a couple of things. I was on with Bobby last week. We were talking about some of this stuff. And I was sharing that in my previous businesses, I've shared shareholding in my company based on performance of staff. So why would you start a company with 3 shares or 2 shares? Why not start it with 1 million shares? Doesn't really cost you anything more. But what if you offered to your staff the opportunity through performance of them and your business that you can share a portion of the ownership of the business? Imagine what buy-in you get. Amazing, amazing. But, as all accountants will tell you, it enables you to do some more effective tax planning. Again, not an accountant, just speaking from experience here. You can't do that under a sole trader entity. Somebody will be saying to me and probably thinking now, but it costs me more money to set it up. I'll tell you now, it costs you more money to lose your house. Way more money to lose your house. So be serious and get it set up straight. So the call to action here, go talk to your accountant and say, what structure should I be at? Because I'm aiming to go big with this business. I want to be able to share my business with others. I need to be able to bring in partners. I need to build a team that, they want to be involved in the business. So why not reward them with a portion of your shareholding? Really simple concept. Big corporates do this. I'm not suggesting you might want to be a big corporate, but hey, they do it because it works. So why not implement in the business that you're starting or that you're building? Prepare for growth. I'll share a little story. When in 2014, I had to restart a business to zero, and I grew it to 30 million by the end of 2016. Now, that was not an overnight success. It had years of experience and understanding the industry and systems and processes. So what I knew I needed to do was I needed to understand my industry. I needed to have systems in place. I needed to be ready to scale. So when I'm talking about growth, preparing for growth means get the in place, get the workflows sorted, get your IT in place, get as much high tech into your business as possible. I'm a huge believer in high tech, high touch. Just because you've got technology in a business doesn't mean you can't still provide a human connection with your customers and your staff and your suppliers. So prepare for growth. What are all the things that you need to have in place to be able to ready to scale? Because scaling is where you get a multiplier effect, right? So when continuing the story of the orange speedboat and the scaling thing, what I did was I was in a registered training organization. I knew that to scale, I had to go and find people to partner with. So I went and found 5 of the largest competitors in the country, and I went to them and said, so this is how I do this process. Here's my workflows. Here's my policies. Here's my systems. I'm ready to scale. You have a gap in your business. I can fill it as an orange speedboat. So let me deliver this product on your behalf. Let me take a share of the income. I'll keep the majority, thanks. I'll just give you a bit. And let's do this thing together. Now, what they identified was, yes, they couldn't pivot to fill that gap in their business. They knew they couldn't. They understood that I was in the same industry, and I understood how I needed to play the game. And I was giving them full insight to my systems. I wasn't shy of sharing access to the systems that I use so they could see that I was doing the right thing. So what can you do? So there's 2 ways you can tackle this. What can you do? A, to collaborate with your competitors. Go and do the research. If you're in whatever industry you're in, you know who your competitors are. Go and see who they are. Go and find out what the gaps are in their business, and can you fill it? Or is there someone in your industry that you have the same audience? You're this business, and there's a business over here that does something slightly different, but it beautifully complements what you do. Collaborate together and go together to be a supplier for a larger organization. That is equally scalable piece. But have the systems in place and know what it needs to be to scale. Like here at Navig8, we rarely do one-on-one mentoring. It's not scalable. But what I do know is group mentoring works incredibly well. We get a better response and growth in our customers because it's not just my viewpoint. We got other people on the screen sharing their viewpoints, and that's scalable. That is something that can absolutely multiply across the screen. And so you've got to think about, well, I deliver it this way. Just ask yourself, what if? What if it looked different? What if? And then find out, well, is there a competitor that I can fill one of their gaps? Or is there someone I can collaborate with that we can jointly go to a large organization and say, we have the whole solution. How does this, let's go find out. Now that took, whilst we got 5 agreements in place, there were a lot of players in the industry that said, no, that's okay. A no is just closer to your next yes, right? So work out what do you got to do, systems and processes from the slide before, and what can you do to scale? What can you do to get out there? What can you put online that you currently deliver face-to-face? Or cafe owner with the brownie. What can you do to be the brownie to get sold around the world? And plan the pace. As I said, I grew ridiculously fast over 24 months. That wasn't as planned as well as it could have. I'll be the first to admit that. So this is a really critical piece for me in the new businesses that I've created since then, is plan the pace, because sometimes the pace will absolutely take your breath away and you're just sort of hanging on and going, oh, hope you don't crash. You know what? So you've really got to plan. Okay. So, if it's like I'm working with some businesses now that we're planning some significant scaling, and I've said to them, we're going to do this in a methodical way. It's still going to be growing nicely and consistently, but let's not try to be one thing to everybody up front. Let's go 100 of these, get that done, get it sorted, pilot program, and then let's scale. So plan the pace so that the systems you think are going to work and the scalable piece that you think is going to work, there's going to be little bumps in the road, right? There's going to be a bit of a speed bump. There's always is. So you need to be able to hold on to the pace that's at the pace that you can deal with, but still with the growth in mind continually. So it's just a really important piece to be mindful of. This is something that I know many businesses don't do. In all businesses that I've had, every single product, I have always priced the individual product. Now, if you're going to say to me, but I have 100 products that I sell or services because I'm a retail store or whatever, I don't actually care, because there is no point in you taking a product or service to market if you don't know the profitability of that particular item. Now, the level of profitability from one product to one service to the other may be different, and that's cool. I know in the business that I've been speaking about that we grew, we were using brokers, and I had 15 brokers at one point, all with a team of 200 staff, just ringing people, looking to see who would be interested in this education opportunity. Every time somebody came to me and said, can we do it at this price, Joanne? I had tools set up. There were simple spreadsheets that took into account what I'm going to earn, what it costs me to deliver it, what share I had to give to my partners, and was I comfortable with the remaining profit? Because unless you know, how can you take this to market? How can you, answer to tenders? How can you put quotes out there if you don't know what the bottom line is for your business? As I said, there'll be maybe different percentages from one product to the next. That's okay, but consistently, there's no point selling a product if you're making a loss. You can't do it by the seat of your pants. Too many business owners have no idea, and particularly those businesses who are in a service, because what they don't always take into account is the amount of time it takes you to create that product or service that you're delivering. For example, Navig8, we do coaching. How do I price that? Well, I am really clear about what my hourly rate is. I know how much time it takes me to put that program together. So it takes the models we've got ones for products and we've got ones for service offerings, can help you to really be clear about the profitability of your offer to your customers. So I know this is something that most business owners don't do. And to scale, you absolutely must do that. And I would say to you, this is something when I was in this growth mode, and I do it today in Navig8, I look at that every time I'm going to tender or I'm offering a product or I'm looking to partner with somebody. Every time you've got to run the numbers. And it's a tool that we use. will take you about 30 seconds to enter it in once you know all the layers of costs. But it's just something that gives you comfort. Oh, okay, well, if I sell 1,000 of those and it's this profitability, great. But if I can only sell 5, well, what's the profitability going to look like? So it's just something, it's about knowing your numbers. It's a bit like when you watch those shows of Shark Tank and the person says to them, what's your numbers look like? What's your profitability? And they go, I don't really know. Beep, out you go. There's a thing grabbing them by the back of the neck and whipping them out. You need to be able to be really clear of that. Every single product and service, even if it's a pen to a house, you need to know the profitability of what you're offering. That is the sum of all my tips. So the few things that we're going to just summarizing up. Staying small is dangerous. Check your commitment. Where's your commitment to this business? Reconnect to your purpose and why. Create goals that take your breath away. Check your structure. Prepare for growth. Plan the pace and scaling, and do the modeling. So what I've got here, for those of you who are interested, there's no call to action to buy anything, but I am giving you my time. So that QR code will give you a link to my calendar, and you can go and spend some of my time. So what I offer here is 30 minutes of mentoring. What I offer is that you will get something to take away that you can implement in your business straight away. You'll get a sense of what you can do next, and then what does working together look like going forward, if that's an option. So that's the only thing I ever offer at the end of these types of little presentations, is to offer you my time. So after that, and I know, Pete, you're watching here, but the only silly questions one you don't ask. So for those of you who need to, they can send me a message, put it in the chat wherever you're going to publish this, Bobby, and I'm happy to answer it. But that's pretty much me.
Perfect, Joanne. The knowledge and passion that you bring, you can definitely see through the presentation as you started to get into it. The passion that you bring into it is amazing. And if anybody would like to learn more about Joanne and Navig8Biz, all the details are in the description of the video. You can either reach out to Joanne by obviously doing the QR code, or reaching out to her by the email that is in the description, or you can obviously contact me and I'm happy to do an introduction. I, for one, will definitely be booking some time with Joanne. Like I said, the passion really gets me going, and we always need good people around us, and the fact that you've been there and done it makes it a lot easier for us to come on board and allow you to guide us through, which is some pretty difficult times being a business owner, and you need good people around you. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks for the guests who came on board, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you.